brothers and sisters of Key of Swords. Before we step into Crystallos, let me tell you about the being whose shadow stretches across everything we're about to face. Long before Norrath knew war as we do, the dragons of Velious lived under a sacred law handed down by their archpriest, a black dragon of immense wisdom and cunning named Kerafyrm. His first and most defining decree as archpriest of Vishan was this: dragons of opposing elemental natures must never mate. He believed such a union was against Vishan's will and would bring catastrophe upon the entire dragon nation. Fate, as it always does, found a way. Two young dragons, headstrong, in love, and contemptuous of what they saw as an outdated council, fled to the far corners of Norrath and bound their souls in a sacred union. From that forbidden joining of opposing elemental bloodlines came the first prismatic dragon, a hatchling named Kerafyrm, which translated means the prophetic savior. Here is where the story twists. Kerafyrm, upon learning of the birth, did not rage. He looked upon the child and saw something that gave him pause. In his mind, only Vishan herself could have defied his own sacred decree. He allowed Kerafyrm to live, and secretly began to believe that this prismatic dragon was the fulfillment of a great prophecy, a prophecy that Kerafyrm himself would nurture in the shadows. Kerafyrm grew at a staggering rate, ascending the ranks of the claws of Vishan to become their most powerful general. He led successful campaigns against the giants of Kael. His influence among the Elder Council swelled. He was, by all appearances, exactly what Kerafyrm had hoped, a unifying force for dragonkind. But something dark took root inside him. His command grew venomous and ruthless. What had been strength curdled into malignant hatred and an unquenchable lust for destruction and chaos. The council that had once celebrated him now had no choice but to issue the order. Kerafyrm must be destroyed. Kerafyrm stood before the council and deceitfully agreed, then immediately flew to Kerafyrm's side to warn him, bringing with him 3 elder council members he had spent centuries quietly swaying to his cause. What followed was a war that nearly broke the claws of Vishan entirely. Kerafyrm's legions were outnumbered, but they were ferocious beyond measure, and time and again they displayed power that defied all expectation. The Elder Council's forces ultimately prevailed, but it cost them enormously. Kerafyrm was restrained. He could not be killed. His prismatic nature made him effectively immortal. So the council did the only thing left to them. They constructed Sleeper's tomb deep in Velious and placed him into an enchanted, indefinite slumber, sealed by the power of 4 elemental warder dragons. The 4 traitorous elders who had sided with Kerafyrm fled Velious and went into hiding, biding their time, waiting for the day their master would walk free again. For ages, Kerafyrm slept. The warders stood eternal guard. The tomb held. Then came adventurers, raiders, people not entirely unlike us, discovered Sleeper's tomb and killed all 4 warders. The moment the last one fell, the seal shattered. Kerafyrm rose from his prison, tore through everything in the tomb, and vanished into Norrath, free for the first time in centuries. This was permanent. The Sleeper's tomb was gone forever. The world had changed, and there was no going back. Kerafyrm did not simply rampage. He was guided. His four most loyal ancient dragons had spent the centuries of his imprisonment preparing for exactly this moment. Under the oversight of Kildrukorn, the Black Dragon Prophet, architect of the prophecy, Trudawos, the Golden Archmage, Zekshikar, the Silver General, Viskudra, the Storm Dragon. His followers, known as the Old Disciples of Kerafyrm, came to Crystallos and built a keep, a fortress designed to survive assault from any other faction of dragonkind, populated by dragons, worms, wyverns, drakes, and golems. Any creature willing to serve Kerafyrm is welcome, so long as they help defend it. The keep's primary defense is magical, a barrier constructed from energies stolen from the four elemental planes, attuned specifically to dragonkin, repelling any who are not already loyal to the awakened. There is one slim hope. Mortals, with the right preparations, may be able to slip through where dragons cannot. That is us. That is tonight. Once brought to the keep, Kerafyrm began to recover the power lost during his long imprisonment. He also began to sanctify his surroundings, breathing a prismatic essence over objects, terrain, and constructs, marking all of it as his own. Make no mistake about what Kerafyrm intends. This is not territorial. This is not vengeance alone. His goal is the complete destruction of all non-dragon life on Norrath. Using his immense power and his deep knowledge of Norrath's creation, he plans to remake the world entirely. A world that belongs solely to Vishen's children, reborn under Kildrukorn's ideology and subservient to Kerafyrm's will. He has already begun collecting the eggs of his followers, sanctifying them with his prismatic breath to make them his own brood. These eggs are the foundation of Norrath's new age, tended by a dragon known only as the Brood Mother, whose mind has been completely warped by his power, living for nothing else. When we walk into Crystallos tonight, we are walking into the seat of power of the most dangerous being on Norrath, a creature that the greatest dragons in history could not destroy, who has had centuries of imprisonment to fuel his hatred, and who now has a plan, an army, and a fortress. Every creature we face serves him. Every room we enter is ground he considers sacred. He is deeper in, watching, testing, letting his disciples separate those who don't belong from those who are worthy of his personal attention. We belong. Let's go remind the awakened what mortals can do. He's been waiting centuries for this war. He won't have to wait much longer.